So today I thought it would be fun if we took a look at the differences and similarities between the American prom and the Irish Debs. They both happen in your senior year of school, but if you're American, you probably know very, very little about an Irish Debs, and why would you? What context would that even come up in? I feel like we know a little bit about prom here in Ireland from watching stuff on television and in movies, but I'm aware that that's probably a slightly exaggerated version or a glamorized version, but I think I've got a couple of the facts straight. There's definitely some cultures and traditions that I find really weird and different. Don't forget, weird is a good thing here. So let's take a look at them. The first thing is just the overall idea of a prom versus a Debs. When I hear about the American prom, it sounds like a coming of age, your launch into society. And you guys have had practice, apparently, because you have all these other school dances. Homecoming, that's a thing. What is it? I don't understand. If you can explain it to me in comments, please do.
I guess you already have a date to homecoming.
We have no equivalent here, and it seems like you guys have this whole school dance thing nailed. You have a structure, the teachers have a plan, you all have a really nice night, and then you go off and you lose your V card to some jock unless your best friend swoops in and declares that he's loved you all along, and that's actually a movie. Comparatively, the Debs is just a big piss up where the teachers acknowledge what they've known all along, that you all go on the lock every single weekend, and the formal stuff is all a bit cringe. Nobody knows what they're doing at all because we've not had any practice. We do have a thing usually the year before we graduate called the pre-Debs, that's in 5th year. The legal drinking age in Ireland being 18, at 17 we all have to pretend it's not a pre-Debs, so the students go and book a night in a nightclub and they call it something else. In our case, we called it St. Finian's Annual Hockey Club Bash. Oh yes. I really wouldn't say the Debs is anything like the pre-Debs at all, which is what contributes to making the actual Debs in Ireland such a big, well,
mess.
The next thing we should compare is getting your date. In America, you have this wonderful thing called a promposal. Cute, America, cute. I know not every single person does them there, but some people do, and they're a huge deal, and they can even go viral on the internet. Some people even ask celebrities to go to their prom, like, wow! I think if you tried doing a promposal in Ireland, most Irish girls would cringe. And if you don't know why that is, maybe check out this other video that I did about Irish girls and dating. We're just very low-key, and the idea of somebody making an elaborate scene for us, like a wedding proposal, is like,
no thank you, no thank you, no thank you!
Let me just share my own experience of getting a date for the Debs. It's generally agreed that whoever you bring to your pre-Debs will then be your Debs date. However, 2 girls in my year didn't think that was okay, so they took my and my friend's Debs dates. Cut to us a week before the Debs watching some Hugh Grant movie and throwing literal sweets at the television in anger at how romantic it was.
I think I love you.
We had 7 days to the Debs and we had nothing organised. Let me point out that a lot of Irish people go to single-sex schools. I was in an all-girls school and the guys that I knew were largely gay. And let's face it, gay guys are great fun, so they'd been booked in months at a time. So me and my friend just went like this and picked the first guy who wasn't already going to the Debs that we came across on our phones. Now I happened to look out because the guy I picked had been to 10 Debses already. I was lucky number 11.
That's not a thing!
And as it turned out, he was actually a Debs date pro. Very chivalrous. Thanks so much, Reb. I think his name was Reb. Could have been Ronan. Something along those lines. Anyway, he was a total gentleman. There was absolutely no love connection, but he was a little professional. Had a BMW and everything. That's basically unheard of when you're 18 in Ireland. Don't forget, most people don't drive till they're 18. Actually, come to think of it, he must have been a bit older. Next up, the look. And that's how I'm going to spell it. The look. I appreciate this one maybe applies more to girls than guys, or maybe there are some very aesthetically minded guys out there, but American girls and Irish girls definitely focus on what they're going to look like for the Debs and the prom. That's an anxiety that we share together, but our approach is very different. In the build up to my Debs, me and my mum went to every single very designery store that was available in Dublin, and there were some great dresses there. I'll be honest with you, teenage metabolism, most dresses looked great, but here's the thing, I had not yet embraced my weird and kind of just wanted to be on the down low for the whole thing, so I went for this quite boring spaghetti strap dress and shawl thing. If it was now, I'd be more like, look at me! I also stupidly went to get a haircut before my Debs and said I wanted it like Sarah Michelle Gellar, but I didn't emphasise which era of Sarah Michelle Gellar I wanted, and they actually cut it into a mom bob. I remember looking in the mirror of the salon just going, maybe when I get home and wash it, it'll be longer. A huge thing for Irish girls,
Not all.
but a lot of them, is fake tan. and I didn't have that much experience with fake tan, and I definitely hadn't heard that we should use rubber gloves before applying fake tan. So I spent the morning/afternoon of my Debs with my hands in washing up detergent, trying to get the orange off my knuckles. We also tried ketchup and Sudocrem. There was a lot of exfoliation, but mostly I ended up just using a nail file to get it off. Ow. Here's my Debs photo. I should also point out that eyebrow tinting was not a thing I was aware of, so yeah. We had to walk down this stupid red carpet in front of all the younger students while they judged you and marked you out of 10. I reckon I spent about 200 to 250 euro at most on my look. Let's compare that to American girls, who basically attend the Oscars for teens.
I only spent $2 on my Debs outfit.
That's cool, but there is a standard in America that a lot of girls go to.
Mom! My surprise dance in 30 minutes.
They get these elaborate ball gowns, their hair done, their tan professionally did, their makeup, their nails, it's a whole thing. They can end up spending the equivalent of a year's salary on just their prom alone. Now it comes to pictures. We definitely do the whole guy picking you up at the house thing and giving you a corsage and taking pictures in your sitting room. If there happens to be a stray horse or cow around, you might take a picture beside that. Well, it wouldn't be a stray one, it'd just be like if you lived in the country or on a farm or something. They're nice pictures, a bit cringe, but definitely nothing like the glossy American pictures that the Americans have. Is it true that some of you guys hire photographers to come to your house? Because that's crazy. Or crazy smart, I can't decide. We do usually have a photographer at the school with some weird backdrop that has nothing to do with anything, but usually he's the guy who took your school photo when you were 6 as well, and there is no option of airbrushing or taking a second photo really at all. If you're blinking in your Debs photo, that's just it. You're blinking in your Debs photo, and that photo will sit atop your parents' piano for the rest of your life. That's just a thing that's going to happen. It was a moment in time, and there is no airbrushing. God. There is no airbrushing. I think since Instagram came in, Irish teens are much better at grooming and posing and all that kind of thing. Now let's get on to entertainment, and this is where there is a huge disparity. In America, you guys have a prom king and a prom queen. It's all very High School Movie. You have slow dancing and dinner, compared to Ireland where you're quite likely to have a sneaky nagging. Some schools do awards, but they're more likely to be kind of take the piss awards. Most likely to eat a full can of beans in one sitting. And that goes to Fiona, because Fiona's the only person who did that. And then in America, you'll all go off to some after prom party at someone's house or something, and then you'll all go lose your virginity, because that's a big thing I'm led to believe in movies.
We all get laid before we graduate. And everything you see in movies is real.
They genuinely do hype it up to be this big thing in America. In Ireland, we go to the school and we have a couple of drinks, and then we move on to the hotel or the place that you're having your dinner, and the teachers come and it's all fine and dandy, but then you later move on to a nightclub or somewhere else. After that, me and my friends proceeded to walk around Dublin city centre until McDonald's opened. I remember sitting on a newspaper at one point, the arse of my dress completely covered in Dublin city rainwater. And here's the really cool thing. Despite having had a cocktail in every single colour I possibly could on the night of my Debs, I had no hangover because teenage metabolism. So how is your Debs or prom? Let me know in the comments below, and even feel free to tag me on socials in pictures that you guys might have of you at your Debs or your prom. Today's patron shoutouts go to two very cool people. We have Michael E. Doherty. Michael wants to shout out baby Primrose Jean. He was born on the 11th of April when this picture was taken. He says she's already smarter than her great uncle Mike. It was also his dog Shannon's birthday on the 15th of April. Happy birthday, Shannon. I hope your woof woof had a great day. And speaking of woof woofs, patron Eric wants to shout out Chewy, because he thinks Chewy is not getting the attention he deserves on this channel. This dog not getting the attention he deserves. He went to the beach yesterday. He went to the park. Do you think you're not giving the attention you deserve? Actually, to be fair, he did go to the vet yesterday because he had a little rash and he got an injection. He was very brave. And now he wants to leave. And that's it. See you Friday. Bye. The next thing we can compare. I don't know what that is. How was the injection? Yeah. It's not nice getting injections, is it? No. But I was there, wasn't I? No. I was a mess. I was an absolute mess. But that's okay. Or is it?